Hello everyone, Eddie here again. In this video we're going to look at how to configure our data, which you can see here is now blank. I've removed the connections we had. We're going to use it without using the SQL scripts, which is important and helpful to learn. We're going to learn an easier way to do it. So if you were not able to get the database to work, this is another way to do it. It's going to use something called Tag Historian. So to begin with, we want to go into, if we're in our Ignition gateway, we go to Services and then see Historians. We'll see that right now we only have one historian running. And this is basically a way to just track the history of a tag's values into a database. So we have a couple options. I'm going to do two of them. We can do a core historian. I'm going to call it, I'm just going to call it history. And I think we can leave everything else just sort of by itself. And if we want to, we could also create a historian that's a SQL historian. And this will be, I'll just call it SQL historian. Put an underscore in there. And the data source for this, we have to pick an actual database. So that'll be the data log that we created. And again, we will go ahead and just leave things alone. So this core historian is one that just sort of runs within Ignition. The SQL historian uses a database that we created. So to start tracking the history, we're just going to go into the tag we want to track. In this case, it'll be motor speed. I'm going to right click, go to edit tags, and I'll go down to this history section, and I'm going to enable history by setting it to true. I'll choose the storage provider, which is in this case just going to be history. That's that core database. And now it should be tracking it. And if I click on my time chart for the data, I'll delete what was in here. This was, so we want to, let's do a poll every 1 second. Let me double check this again. Point count 100, real time range is fine. And then we want to grab the tag history, so we'll look for historical providers, history, and we're going to find that motor speed tag and hit OK. And hit OK again. And now it should be tracking. So I'm going to go ahead and save the project. Now if we go back into our perspective, we look at motor controls. If I change this to, let's say, 500, and then look at my data, we can see that it is now changing pretty drastically. And it takes a minute to update. Change it to 3000. See what it does. It should, yeah, you can see it start to climb up. And I think that one thing that's a little off, I'm going to just edit this tag. If we go into the history, there is historical deadband, sample mode on change, so you can do periodic. So we can say time between samples, change that to 20. So as we change this, we should be tracking over time. I'm just going to type in a few different things. Let's see if it's able to track them. Yeah, we can see the data kind of jumping up and down, tracking the speed of this motor. And every time we change it, it should be triggering new data points. And you can see that again there. So that is a kind of a faster way of creating a time chart without having to configure a full database. It's still useful to understand how to do that, but if you're not able to do it, this is a way to do it that simplifies the process a little bit.